Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Jordan wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws and plays a tapped Canyon Slough. Sammy's land for turn is Radiant Summit, and he ships it after that. G displays a forest and passes. Eric draws, plays a mountain, and passes back to Jordan. Jordan's turn 2 has him playing a command tower, and then casting Goblin Bombardment. Sammy's land drop is a Flooded Strand, and he sacrifices it, losing 1, to find a Steam Vents, taking 2 more so it comes in untapped. He then casts the Emperor of Palamecia and passes. G draws, plays a forest, and casts a Werebear. Eric's got a mountain, and then casts Guild Artisan. Jordan's land drop is a Haunted Ridge, and he pays 3 for a Black Market Connections. Sammy's got a Spectator Seating, and casts a Wizard Staff. He equips it onto the Emperor, and then goes to combat, hitting Jordan for 2. G draws, plays a Tireless Tracker, and then plays a forest, getting a landfall trigger to investigate, and passes after that. Eric's got a mountain, and then casts a Lotus Petal. He sacrifices it and has enough mana to cast Smaug. Moving to combat, his commander goes at G, and he gets to make 2 treasure tokens from the Guild Artisan trigger, and then resolves the Smaug trigger, dealing 2 to the Emperor. The Emperor gets taken out, and G takes 4, and Eric passes. Jordan draws, and then takes a total of 6 off Black Market Connections for every mode. He plays an Exotic Orchard, and then casts a Misty Mountains Raider, and passes. Sammy's got a Plains, and brings out Gandalf. G plays a Forest, and brings out the indestructible Tusky. He swings both of his creatures at Eric, who takes the hit, while G gets to draw 2 cards. After that, he passes turn. Eric draws, makes a treasure token, and then plays a mountain for turn. He casts Knuckles, and then going to combat, swings him at G, and Smaug goes at Sammy. On attack, Eric makes 2 treasure tokens, and then deals 5 to Sammy with Smaug's trigger. Moving to blocks, G puts Tusky in front of Knuckles. He still takes 2, and Eric makes a total of 2 treasures. His second main phase then has him casting Zorn and passing. Jordan draws and does all the modes on the Black Market Connections again, and then plays a Smoldering Marsh. He sends the Misty Mountain Raider and the Changeling token at Eric, and Jordan amasses 2. Unfortunately, we forget that the Changeling is everything, including an army, and he makes a second token by mistake. Eric takes the damage, and Jordan then casts Balg of the North, and as he comes in, sacrifices the Raider to shoot Knuckles. After that, Jordan passes. Sammy plays an untapped Sporific Springs, and then casts Creel Baldison. He moves the staff onto Gandalf, and then swings him at Eric for 3. Sammy passes after that. G draws, and casts a Bristly Bill. He then plays a Blinkmoth Nexus. He gets to put a counter up to Tusky thanks to Bill's trigger, and makes a Clue token. He cracks the clue to draw a card, and puts a +1/+1 counter onto the tracker. G then continues with a Badger Mole Cub, and he earthbends the Blinkmoth Nexus. He then goes to combat. He swings Tusky and the tracker at Sammy, dealing 6. G draws 2, and then passes turn. Eric's upkeep has him making 2 treasures, one from Smaug, which is then doubled because of Zorn, and he casts Seize the Spoils. This has Jordan responding by sacrificing his army token and a Changeling to ping Zorn for 2. Eric then draws his 2, but makes only 1 treasure token. Eric then follows up by casting Ragavan, and then a Professional Facebreaker. He goes to combat after that. He swings Smaug at G, getting to make 2 treasure tokens from Guild Artisan, and he shoots Bristly Bill with Smaug's trigger. G then takes the hit, and Eric passes. Jordan draws and full sends on the Black Market Connections again, and he plays a Swamp for turn. He then casts a Warg Rider, and he goes to combat and amasses 2. He swings the Changeling at G and Balg at Eric, and they both take their hits. With nothing else, Jordan passes. Sammy draws for turn and casts Sten, choosing instants as he comes in. He goes to combat and gets a Gandalf trigger, casting Reality Strobe to bounce the Black Market connections back to hand. He has no attacks though, and just decides to pass. G's got a Forest and casts Selvala Stampede. G votes for free, and everyone else chooses Wild. This is G putting a Vaultboard Tyrant into play from his hand, and he hits a Silverback Elder, Kadam of the West Tree, and Lotus Cobra off the Wild votes. This has him gaining 3, and he draws a card off the Vaultborn Tyrant. He then casts the Great Henge. Going to combat, Tusky goes at Sammy. Sammy blocks with Gandalf, and G then passes turn. Eric's upkeep has him making a treasure, and he sacrifices a treasure to the Professional Facebreaker, exiling his top card. He hits a Mines of Moria, which he plays as his land for turn. He then sacrifices 5 more treasures to exile his top 5 cards. He hits 4 lands and an Untimely Malfunction. He casts this to destroy the Great Henge. With the targeting on the stack, G uses it to sacrifice a clue token and also gains some life. Eric then sacrifices another treasure token after that to the Facebreaker and hits yet another land. He goes to combat and swings his commander at G. On attack, he makes 2 treasure tokens and then shoots Kadama with the on attack trigger from Smaug. G then takes the hit for 4 and Eric passes. Jordan draws and pays 2 for a Knight's Whisper, losing 2 and drawing 2. He follows up with the Great Goblin. He then casts a Bogart Birthright, and he gets back his Misty Mountains Raider, and he then goes to combat. He amasses again, and then deals 2 damage with the Great Goblin to G as a token gets counters on it. Jordan chooses not to attack though, and just has to pass. Sammy draws, and in his main phase casts Go-Go, and he moves to combat. The Gandalf trigger casts Ancestral Vision from his hand with the first trigger, drawing him 3 cards. And the second trigger then allows him to cast Call Forth the Tempest. This has him cascading into an Inspiring Refrain, and puts the suspend counters on it as it resolves in exile. And a Path to Exile. The path in turn exiles the Vaultborn Tyrant. The Call Forth the Tempest then resolves and wipes out each opponent's board, with Jordan sacrificing his board to Goblin Bombardment, and deals 5 to G, plus exiles his top 5 cards from the Great Goblin's trigger. Sammy then resolves Go-Go's ability, copying Gandalf. He then swings Gandalf at G, Go-Go at Eric, and Krill at Jordan. They all take the hits, and Sammy's second main phase has him playing a Sacred Foundry and passing turn. G's turn has him casting a Wood Elves, which allows him to go and fight a Dryad Arbor, which he puts to field. He then casts a Masked Vandal, and as it comes in, exiles a card from his graveyard to exile the Wizard's Staff. He then cracks a clue token to draw a card. He has to swing Tusky, and he decides to swing it at Sammy. Sammy takes the hit for 2, and G draws a card, and then passes turn. Eric's turn has him drawing, and playing at a Curse of Opulence, enchanting it onto Sammy. He then recasts Smaug. He swings him at Sammy, and shoots Gandalf for 4 with the on-attack trigger. Sammy then takes 4, and Eric passes. Jordan's got a Bloodstained Mire, losing 1 as he sacrifices it to find a mountain. He follows up by casting Muxus. As Muxus enters, he only hits a Bogart Cursecrafter. Jordan then sacrifices it as part of the cost of Deathly Dispute. He draws more cards, and passes after that. Sammy draws and recasts Gandalf, and then goes to combat. He copies Krill with Go-Go, and then uses Gandalf's trigger to cast Akroma's Will. Since he controls his commander, he gets all of the abilities, and he sends all of his creatures at Eric, who takes lethal, while Sammy gains 20. He passes after that. G draws, plays a forest, and casts Kamal, Heart of Krosa. He then goes to combat, and Kamal pumps his team by +3/+3 and trample. He then goes all in at Sammy, who takes the hit, and G then draws a card from Toski and passes after that. Jordan's turn has him drawing and then bringing back out the Misty Mountains Raider. He then goes to combat and swings Muxus at Sammy. Jordan amasses 2, while Sammy takes 6. Jordan then recasts the Black Market Connections and passes. Sammy gets to cast Reality Strobe off of Suspend, bouncing Kamal, and then draws for turn. He then casts a Harmonic Prodigy, and he goes to combat. The first Gandalf trigger casts Reoccurring Insight, which targets G and draws him 7 cards. The second trigger then casts a Rousing Refrain. And Gogo copies Krill, and Sammy then swings everything at G. G takes lethal, with Sammy gaining 8 life. Sammy then casts a Waves of Aggression after combat. He untaps his creatures, and gets a second combat step, but before that, casts an Unexpected Windfall. Sammy then uses the last of his red mana to help cast Desynchronization, and Jordan sacrifices his board to shoot Krill and Gogo in response thanks to Goblin Bombardment. Sammy then goes to his second combat step, and casts a big score off of Gandalf's ability. He then swings both of his creatures at Jordan, dealing 5. Sammy then moves to a second main phase, recasting the Harmonic Prodigy and passing. Jordan draws and casts a Blasphemous Act. But Sammy's got a counter with a Fierce Guardianship. Jordan then casts a Warren Soul Trader and passes. Sammy's upkeep has him casting Inspiring Refrain, drawing 2. And then the Recurring Insight and draws again. He then draws for turn. He plays a mountain. He starts off with a Quain, and then casts a Magma Opus, clearing the way so he's able to swing in for the win. Game review time. My goodness, Gandalf is good. Free casting spells is great, and that Wizard Staff and the Harmonic Prodigy just make him even better. Unfortunately for G, it seemed like he was never able to cast Beorn really reliably. He did get some sweet hits from the Selvala Stampede, but it almost felt like he was on the back pedal, never really being able to be aggressive. I feel kinda sorry for Eric. I built Smaug, and I don't know if I shelved it enough. He hit 5 lands out of 6 exiles with Professional Facebreaker, which is just absolutely brutal and probably a statistical anomaly. Otherwise, the deck was sweet and Smaug was blasting. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.